You know what? Let's get right to this Javier in Iowa before we get back to your story about Don Lemon. Javier in Iowa wants to talk about anti-Semitism, I think. Javier, thanks for calling and holding. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Going well.
Hey, so I got a question for you guys, and what do you think? Do you think Kanye West and anybody who criticizes the Jews because they're the ones who run Hollywood, do you think those people are anti-Semitic?
I don't.
I don't.
You don't?
I don't.
What do you say,
Because
Joel?
it's a group of people.
I mean, I don't. I mean, you have a right to say whatever you want. It doesn't make you. That's just your opinion. Like, it don't make you anti-Semitic, racist. You just saying your opinion, even if it's right or wrong. I don't see nothing wrong with Kanye giving his opinion on what he believes the Jewish media is doing.
Yeah, I agree. He may be correct or incorrect. The issue is whether he's correct or incorrect, and
He is.
whether they're claiming that him saying that is making resentful people potentially become violent against the Jewish people, which I don't buy that. That's kind of like saying, oh, Alex Jones is responsible for the trolls.
Yeah.
And that Trump is increasing the anti-Semitic crimes and anti-gay crimes. That's a roundabout communist way of violating the First Amendment. And it's increasing resentment, because when you shut people down, that increases resentment.
But I mean, it is true that Cardi B gets her check from the Jewish people. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I somewhat know what you're saying. I don't know what Cardi B's situation is, but I know that everybody knows that they're in the media. Like, a lot of Jewish people are in the media. They're CEOs of companies and involved in the finance and all that stuff. So people, and they're in the media too. They're in the news industry. So they're intellectuals and they're not Christian. And a lot of them, even the conservative ones, fall for this. Oh, this is anti-Semitism.
That's just, in my opinion, that's just sensitive people not knowing what to do about the situation and not also understanding or seeing what Kanye is trying to do. So instead, they just want to get him out the way because it hurts their feelings, or they think it's going to cause an uproar. It's all fear-based to me. When in actuality, he's just giving his opinion, whether it's right or wrong. Like, let him have his opinion. You calling him an anti-Semite or whatever is your opinion. So why can't he have his opinion?
I just don't think. I mean, I think they do it like Black Lives Matter. You know how the rioters and protesters, they hide behind the argument or the excuse. Hey, because we were oppressed 400 years ago. Here's what we can do because we were oppressed. And I think the Jews are getting away with that too. Since Hitler did some stuff to them, well, you can't criticize me for what I'm doing now.
Yeah, to me, that's a good point. To me, it reminds me exactly of the whole anti-Semitism thing. Reminds me exactly of the racism thing. It's like, you can't say that to a Jewish person.
They use it to invalidate your argument.
Yeah, they've been through some stuff. So that's so hurtful. When however many years it happened, the Jewish kid on the corner playing basketball ain't thinking about what was happened back then. He maybe have the history and he's been taught to feel a certain way.
Right.
But nobody's really feeling that. It's just another means of.
It's projecting evil intentions on Kanye and stuff. When Kanye plainly says, "I'm against violence," and he's not for, I don't think that Kanye would be for a Holocaust happening. I don't think he would be for that. In fact, he said we shouldn't be killing. But I think what's happening too, Javier, is that they're trying to bait you by being unreasonable into being mad about it. Because now it reminds me also of like the women and men situation where women will be unreasonable and accuse the men and needle them and just be
no.
Hold on, man, I'm still talking.
Oh.
Women will accuse men of being what the women are doing, which is what, a lot of the Jewish people and the blacks will accuse the whites and whoever's criticizing them of being hateful when they're hating the person who's speaking.
Exactly.
But what happens is the men will overreact, or the whites will overreact, either they'll get scared or they'll get angry and overly defiant.
Yeah. So then it makes
and so like there's all these people who are saying this is not anti-Semitism. Some of these people who are saying no, Kanye's telling the truth, they'll puff up.
Yeah.
And then it's just like Jesse says, two devils fighting.
Yeah. Exactly.
So you got to watch yourself.
No, I look at it. I look at it differently because this is like something that's always been known, and that who runs Hollywood and who pays. Like they don't pay good role models. They pay people like Cardi B. They pay people like 50 Cent to sing these songs to indoctrinate people because in the end that's all they do. And these Jewish people, they don't give this music to their kids. They don't let their kids listen to this.
Sometimes they do
because they know it's harmful.
Sometimes they do, but you're right. A lot of people are living family lives, and then they push like JLP said about some of these black so-called leaders. They have families, but then they're pushing lack of families on everybody else.
Yeah.
But man, that's different from the point that I'm making, is that we who see that the evil are overreacting to the evil and fighting evil with evil.
I just mock everything. I'm not angry. I just mock it because I'm not anti-Semitic.
Is that love?
For saying something. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, when you tell someone that's fat and then you tell them directly, either mocking them or not, it's still the truth.
I don't think that
whether it's true or not, the truth is not always spoken in love. So it doesn't. You have to be watching yourself and your spirit.
Yeah, I don't think in my opinion,
you can mock in love, I guess.
What's his name?
Javier in Iowa.
Javier. The mocking thing comes off as judgmental and looking down. As if that you're better than, or there wouldn't be a mock, because if
we know the difference between right and wrong.
Right, but if you understood, like, and this goes for everybody, all of us, is that if we understood what the reason, the cause of it, there would be no mock. The only reason why you mock is because you think that I'm right, you're wrong, I'm better, you're not. So the mock is arrogance. So you got to watch the mock.
Yes, it's arrogance. Yeah, when you know you're right, you kind of. But yeah, no, I get you.
Yeah, so that is something that's why it's good to always watch yourself, because you can.
Oh no.
You can see how silly it's. Everybody can see how silly another person is and evil another person is, but if you start to judge that person, you're just as evil.
Yeah, but you're right in what you're saying though with the anti-Semitism thing. We agree with that. It's just that what James is saying, he's making a great point, is that Christians don't know how to respond properly. You know what I mean? We just, like he said, we just fight back
they burn the shoes.
Yeah, because we think it. We're thinking
videotape it on social media for retweets.
You know,
they do that for clout, but I wouldn't burn. I throw them away.
I'm just making that's another bad example.
Yeah, that's just dumb. Yeah, no, Hey, but no, thank you guys for taking my call.
Thank you, Javier. Appreciate it, man. Take care.
Have a good one.
You as well. Hang tight, the rest of the callers. Appreciate it. Go ahead.
Well, can I say one thing about, because since we're on the topic of him, if you don't mind, is what did you think about the, because I just heard it today, but the clip of Kanye talking about like Hitler is, I don't know if can we say that on YouTube? Are
what
those
did he
trigger
say?
Words?
You can say the quote, and we'll say we disavow.
Okay. I guess Kanye is saying like it's all over the internet that Kanye is saying that he liked Hitler and that Hitler did a lot of good things, and that we need to stop making the things Hitler did such a bad thing, and then Alex Jones was like, I think it's a bad thing. And everybody else on the social media is saying like it's a bad thing that she's saying that. But I don't know because I didn't see the full clip. But I just think that there's always context to why people say things.
Right.
But what do you think about like
what Kanye's been saying and stuff?
Yeah, just his whole thing and his position on what he's doing in general. Do you think it's productive, or do you think he's coming from the right place, or what do you think?
I can't tell if he's coming from the right place or not. He's saying the right words in that we should be loving. We should love everybody. He was interviewed by Gavin McInnes, that guy who founded Proud Boys.
Oh, yeah.
Strange
Yeah.
guy.
I didn't see
And
that one.
along with Nick Fuentes, because he's been hanging out with Nick
Oh, I didn't
Fuentes
see that either.
of AFPAC. So Nick Fuentes was on the Alex Jones show with him.
Oh, I didn't see it.
But he's been kind of stayed quiet, kind
Yeah.
of allowing the man to speak his piece
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah.
And he's saying the right stuff about, he's telling the Jews to forgive Hitler. It's over
Yeah.
already. Stop making it, what I'm saying, into something that it's not.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if he's going too far or too short, or as far as what I hear, most of what I hear him say, it sounds like it's true.
Yeah.
And when he says that the Germany was doing good, Hitler or the Nazis were doing good things and bad things, maybe he said nobody should be killing anybody.
Yeah.
And
I heard that.
he spoke against pornography. And
Yeah.
I've heard,
Yeah.
I've had these callers over the years.
Yeah.
So I have been exposed to almost everything that I've ever heard him say,
Yeah.
that I've heard Kanye say. It wasn't 6 million, it was 250,000, and they weren't murdered,
Yeah.
all of them, or
Yeah.
whatever. And I've heard them say that they were standing up for Germany, nationalism, morality, getting rid of the pornography and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe they went too far, got rid of some of the art, some innocent artists
Yeah.
who were Jewish or not Christian.
Yeah.
They might have fallen by the wayside too. So maybe they didn't do everything good, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's how I took it when he says, "Oh, I loved
Yeah.
things about what Hitler was doing."
Yeah.
He was doing stuff that, from what I've heard
Yeah.
that he was doing stuff that was good too. And then I don't know what the real story is on.
Well, of course, is
the
that
Holocaust.
there's always like people obviously want to paint white people who were slave masters as purely evil people.
I know, yeah.
And the same thing with Hitler. They want to just paint it because it serves their ego and their agenda of making it, like pushing it to be such a horrible thing. Which
Yeah.
obviously there's a lot of unfortunate events, but it doesn't mean as a human being that person is just a pure, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Because obviously there's a method to what everybody's madness. But my only thing with Kanye is I just think his timing is, and this is just my opinion, and I just think his timing is not right. Like, for one, he came to Alex Jones' show in that little mask jump off thing.
Yeah, it looks almost like that BDSM type stuff,
like
that weird sex stuff.
Like, it's just like that. If you want to do that for stylish, and it's like a cool like outfit, but there's a time to wear a cool little outfit. Not at
He
the
looks like he
interview.
has no sense.
Like
a
it
little
looked
bit.
like he has no sense. So then when you go up there and you're saying these things, nobody's gonna believe you because you're coming in there off. Right, and you maybe see, like, I agree with a lot of things that Kanye is saying and stuff like that. With the whole Hitler thing, I can't confirm or deny the good or bad about that. But I respect that he has his own opinion. But I feel like the way he says it and the way he does it is almost like looking for a response, like wanting to be canceled, like to say like I liked Hitler. It just, to me, it just seems like purposely inappropriate.
I didn't see that aspect of him saying that.
Yeah.
Because I've heard so many of these white guys come in and say this.
Yeah.
Like, there's this guy, John Friend, who came in when I was at it. And he said, I think he was a good Christian man. And I'm like, it's shocking at first, but then you realize that these people have looked into what they've looked into, information.
Exactly.
And so they've been exposed to all this stuff, so it's normal for them to say that.
Exactly. That's a good point, is that I think that Kanye can be 100% true, right? Like,
Right.
I'm not denying that he's 100%. Maybe he's right about Hitler, right? Let's just say
People
that's
think
true.
Jesse is a shock jock,
Right,
but he's not saying
right.
stuff to be shocking. Jesse is not.
And see, that's
he's
the
saying
thing.
stuff that's real. But then for a lot of us, we're not exposed to that kind of truth, or we haven't ever heard that before.
Yeah, and I think that I think that there's, when it comes to being a strong influencer and to get the job done, in my opinion, I believe we have to learn how to get the message across.
Yeah.
Because we could say it, as is, that's fine. Like, I mean, because it's the truth, and the people who know the truth hear it, and they're like, boom.
Yeah.
But it's like, I feel like it could be reached a little bit more if it was, if the opportunity was waited for, and then it was given properly.
Yeah.
So I don't think that we got to walk around people and like walk on eggshells and try to please everything people say. But I do think that that we would do a lot more good if, let's just say, Kanye put a little bit more context to what he's saying. Because when you just hop in there with a mask on,
I know,
talking about Hitler was good,
right?
You know what I mean? Like it just, you know, people are obviously gonna be like, what do you mean?
Right?
He's such a, you know what I mean? So it's like that part of it to me seems ego, and with that, you're actually going to get more haters because the world is not sitting up here trying to figure out, well, what did he mean? They're just like...
It does seem like a lack of wisdom in how he's going about it.
Yeah, that's my only thing. But I agree with what...
Or a lack of sense. Like, wear a suit, man.
Sense, yeah.
Or I understand we've never seen Kanye in a suit, so that might look weird.
Right. But he could have wore... He got plenty of outfits that he could have wore, but he could have just took off the mask, wear the shoulders... and be fine. Hassan, you got to type in the group text because I can't see, and then you're making me feel left out, bro. Could I ask? Do you mind if I ask Hassan's take?
All right.
What do you think, Hassan, about the Kanye fiasco and what we said?
Well, I just want to say real quick. Anyone who gets sued for $1 billion, I recommend wearing a mask next to them too.
Yeah, right.
Just so that in the court of law,
you ain't
Alex Jones.
Just so in the court of law, you can say,
right.
prove that it was me. Also, that mask is ironically a Balenciaga mask.
Oh wow,
that's funny.
But yeah, no, I just think that definitely when he says like I love Hitler, there's definitely a Christian element of love all people. But I think there's also the element where, you know, like it's known Adolf went to an art school. He was an artist that went to art school. He designed an Olympics logo, you know, the logo with the rings.
Had no idea.
Let me drag these into the let's see
the Volkswagen logo.
Never
there's a lot
knew
of
that. That's
there's
crazy.
a lot of
I'm dragging
context.
it into the folder that you texted to me. This is the brilliance of having iPhone iMessage.
Yeah, so I just think that you know, and then he even said in the interview, he's like, you know, this guy. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but this is what he elaborated. This guy invented highways and invented the microphone that I use.
Right.
And then blacks were on Twitter saying, oh, it was actually invented by a black man.
Yeah, and I don't know if, you know, if that's necessarily true, but I know that German engineering, you know, for
has
us
been brilliant.
Has been brilliant. I mean, the Mercedes-Benz, the gun, Lugers.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, other than Japanese, there's probably no one even close to German engineering. I mean, some would argue that the Germans in coming to America helped NASA get us to the moon.
Meaning the Nazis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, this is the problem, right? This is the perfect... Like, I'm glad that James and Hassan know more than I do about this stuff. Because for one, my take... For one, is that I don't like to have a bad judgment on Hitler because I don't know nothing about him. So I just take like, well, I don't know nothing about him, so I'm not going to say anything good or bad. But when they come in and they say all this stuff, I think it's appropriate because the big problem that we have in society is that nobody wants to understand these. This is not being talked about. This is not being said. Why is nobody want to talk about Hitler's background? Why does nobody want to talk about the quote-unquote slave master's background or why that became the structures and systems that were put in place to allow this machine of quote-unquote slavery to work and the profits that they made from it and all this stuff? Why isn't that appreciated?
Yeah. Good questions.
You know what I mean? It's like these are the things that the reason why we want to demonize people is because we just like to grab on to the thing. Now, let's just say.
And not look at everything.
Like, because there's a method to everybody's madness, and everybody's a human being.
Right.
And everybody's either influenced by good or evil. And sometimes we're 1 week we're walking in the light, the next week we got lost in thought.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but does that make me a bad person that week? Oh, so now I'm evil that week. The next week I'm a good person. You know what I mean? Like, you're just human being. Now,
Right.
is it unfortunate that all these, the Jews had to die in the thing, right? Like, we know that. But for one, that's over. But for two, it's that if you took time to just understand a human being and then the mindset
And yourself.
in yourself,
Yeah.
that's the main thing. If you understand yourself, then you'll understand. Maybe you'll see why he went about this. Maybe he was driven by a self-righteous idea that he thought in his head was godly,
Right.
but he was deceived by Satan,
Yep.
which makes him a regular human being just like the rest of us.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to look at that. Same with the school shooter. Nobody wants to look at that. Instead, he's evil.
Right.
But if I go to your house and look at your daughter who comes to my dance studio, I'm looking at evil right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, no, the Jews.
Right.
Nobody's looking at themselves. So I'm glad you guys come and bring context, because I kind of agree with what Kanye is saying and what you guys are saying, that there's more to it. My only thing is that bringing that context helps the people who are asleep have a little bit more understanding to what's going on, opposed to just triggering their thought process of, well, Hitler was good.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's
why
my thing.
That's why JLP is right when he says there's no such thing as racism or sexism or anti-Semitism or homophobia. It's either anger or love.
Yeah.
Hate or love,
Yeah.
right or wrong. Because if you break it down to just anger, the people who are mad at the racist or the anti-Semite, they're guilty of the same sin that they're accusing the so-called anti-Semite
See,
of.
if you go to the root, exactly.
Right.
You go to the root problem, and
Because
you
then
realize
you can be guilty of the same thing.
Oh shoot, I'm actually angry. But people who now hear Jesse say you don't have anger, they walk around pretending they don't have
Right.
it. So when they do react, they're like, "Well, that wasn't anger. That was righteous."
Yeah.
It's a mess.
What a mess. The self-deception.
Anyway.
I put some pictures in the folder, and I have your pictures that you sent to me in the folder just to show the people. Here's some pictures of Kanye in that weird-looking mask. And this was on the Gavin McInnes show that I dragged in those screenshots. And then there's also the German memorabilia, or the Olympics. Jesse Owens, the black famous. Here's this scene. This happened yesterday, or at least it was uploaded yesterday.
Oh, so Nick Fuentes is there?
Yeah,
okay,
Nick
didn't even know.
Fuentes. It's a pretty cool interview setup. I don't know where they are, but they're in LA somewhere, I guess.
I'm sorry, that thing with the.
Look at that. I know that it's not. At first, not 1 inch of skin was showing, but then I found an inch of skin on him.
Yeah, it's like he almost looked like he's about to rob the place.
Right.
That's what it looks like.
Yep.
And it's stylish though. Like when he wears, I've seen pictures of him like in these kind of outfits.
I see his wrist. I see some. I see some skin. That is a black person.
It just does it to me. It just lacks common sense.
Yeah.
And I feel like oftentimes what hurts him, in my opinion,
He's
is
too
the
artistic.
lack of grounded sense to
Yeah.
make certain decisions.
Yep.
Because at this point, when we're speaking up the truth, we have to do our best and not fake it, but to truly overcome so we can be the example.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, or else we sit up there looking like, we're about to rob the place, but then we're talking about righteous things. But then we're wearing like, you know what I mean? It doesn't look.
Wearing a mask with no eye holes, although those zippers where the eye holes are or something. But you can't even see his eyes or anything.
It's just hard to respect. It's just hard to respect to me.
True.
So that's my thing.
Poor Kanye West. It was interesting, though, hearing him talk about forgiveness. He says that he forgave the plastic surgeon of his mother. I guess that's how she died or something like that.
Oh, wow.
And he's forgiven everybody, and he forgives
Yeah.
this and that.
Yeah.
And loves even though he's going to be against same-sex marriage, if and when he becomes president.
Yeah.
He also is for loving everybody.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
but
me too.
He's not ready. I don't think he's ready to lead.
Yeah. But you make it good. I think Kanye's on doing the right thing, and I think that he's a voice for the industry, and I like that. I've always liked that he's never been afraid to speak up and say whatever. And there's an energy to that that's admirable, and I like that he's that kind of way. And I think that the fact that he's on the side of trying to speak up for good and all that stuff is good. Yeah. I just hope that he's aware of himself, though.
Right.
Because arrogance can, he's also known for having a big ego.
Right.
And that's just off-putting. Nobody wants to follow. Like, your kids, looking at certain things and you're saying, Daddy, you're telling me not to have sex, but you just talked about the 5 girls, I think on the Drink Champs, he was talking about how, like, he buys the girls, like, a house, and then he buys, and I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
Right.
Which one are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So that's just my only thing. But I like Kanye. I'm on the side of Kanye, to be honest.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if we showed the stuff that the most evil man in the world ever, Adolf Hitler designed. Here's the Olympics in Berlin. I guess he designed that, according to Hassan and Kanye.
I didn't even know that.
And it's a little button that we're looking at, a medallion, when it says 11th. Is it the 11th Olympics? Held in Berlin, Germany, 1936.
And we
has
use
the
that.
Olympics rings.
And we still, those rings are still used. There's no outcry.
I don't know if maybe the rings were designed before him, but he incorporated that whole design with the
eagle and
crazy
stuff.
Eagle and that evil Nazi symbol, the swastika.
Yeah,
thing.
that's still not there. They took that one out.
Right. So anyway, I guess he hosted the Olympics.
I didn't know that. What was the other one? A Volkswagen.
That's Volkswagen. And you see the V and the W.
Yeah.
And then you see like this gear wheel thing and this windmill or power thing or whatever.
Like, you have to respect just good art, like, period. Like what Hassan was saying about Balenciaga. You got to respect the good art and just leave it at that.
Right.
And just appreciate that. And then if they do, you denounce the things that they don't do, that's good.
I mean, the mainstream people say that he was a mediocre artist. And that's why he was angry.
Well, Volkswagen.
No, I made that part up, maybe.
That was a cause.
Some also say that he got denied by a Jewish school and teacher, and that's what caused everything.
Somebody said that his dad was Jewish or his mom or somebody, but you hear so many stories, you don't know the truth.
Yeah,
Who cares about history? Know the present times and know yourself.
And that's the thing about when people say, oh, well, Hitler didn't do that, actually. Hitler didn't design this. Hitler didn't design this.
Yeah.
I think they try to maybe wash some of that away. Yeah. But the way you can kind of see is that his influence in the Nazi uniforms, even Hugo Boss, they designed the Nazi uniforms. And his perspective on the uniforms is probably still to this day one of the best and most influential to all other clothing.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's kind of like people trying to downplay Elon Musk. He didn't design those rockets.
Yeah.
Or Trump is just a reality TV star. He's not a good boss.
Yeah.
They're downplaying these people's accomplishments.
Yeah.
Just because they hate them.
Just because they judge them. Exactly. And it serves self to hate and paint over their whole thing. Because if you say, but he's kind of a good person, then you have to be like, well, then what am I going to do with this anger? You know what I mean? So like, it's just a mess. It's a mess.
It really is.